See the paint in there. We're draining that. It's in here for a torque converter. And Joker finally gets a new set of wheels. Tires are dry rotting, and one of the rotors threw so much dust that it got into the paint. So pretty much ruined. I'd have to repaint it. I figured I might as well repaint some new ones. So these are 24s, 24 by 14s, negative 76 offset. Big lip. My hands are huge though. 7.5 inch lip, but the Joker already has 24 by 14s on it, and it has an 8 inch lip. So this is a 7.5 inch lip, which means I think Joker like a negative 81 offset. So that makes sense. So, but here we go. Got the drilled out for 8 by 170, and we're gonna get these prepped for paint. But I'm not gonna paint them till I put the tires on, but I'm gonna prep them first. So we got the whole set. Yeah, Joker's a workhorse. It's, you know, when I need it, it's been there, so it deserves to get some wheels on there. So I'm going back 37s, 37 by 13.5, 24s, and it already has 37s on there right now. So I'm gonna lose a little. I wanted 26s, but I don't like how thin the sidewall is. So that's a 22 by 14, and we're probably gonna have to paint it too. This has been painted for like 16 years, and it's been out in the sun the whole time. So I had to get that ready and prep for paint. Close color, but I'm changing it up. So like I say, the pounder's in here. Hey man, y'all hit me up by making keys. Let me tell you something, man. I done wiped the whole PCM of this thing trying to make a key for it. So no, I do not want to make a key for your car. Thing is in here for a torque converter right here. And I done wiped the PCM, had to do a hard reset, I mean, on it. So here's an up-to-date torque converter. And I gotta hurry up and get the other one out of there. Like I said, I got the drive shaft dropped already and stuff, loosening up the exhaust bolts and stuff. So here's the return stuff right there. So yeah, I'm not a locksmith. I just bought all the equipment, so I got so many cars, so I be losing keys. So like I say, got the exhaust manifold. Exhaust soak in with penetrant, and then Tony let me borrow his transmission jack since it is lifted, so I'll be able to get that. All right, so I got my last O2 on the upstream sensor broke loose. I already tested one of these. It came, I broke it loose pretty easily. Now I'm taking the starter wires off, which I already disconnected the battery and the power. So sure gonna drop that, and I got all of those right here. Those all go to the starter. Now I'm gonna go ahead and get under there and drop the starter. If I can't get it out right, then I'm gonna go ahead and pull the exhaust real quick. All right, got the exhaust loose. You can see right there, and this one. So now I gotta take the cross member out from the jack up, put the transmission jack under the transmission, and remove the cross member. So I got one bolt in there to take off, and I already got the drain to unhook from that. Then we can drop the exhaust and then start getting this transmission up out of here. Actually, I gotta do all the shift cable, unhook that and the plug too, but it's gonna help to get me get this heat shield off by the exhaust being gone. So I can just come in from the side right there. All right, got our exhaust out. And what I'm gonna do, now I gotta unhook all this so I can roll around easier. I'm gonna put the cross member back so I can get the jack out the way. So I'll use that to hold this up. and that way I can get this out the way. Okay, got to start off, and we broke one of the one of the bolts that hold the torque converter on. So when you're breaking it loose, it's gonna want to spin. So you just stick your little pry bar and hit it on the tooth right there, just kind of jam it. And that's what I use to turn it too. I just turned it a couple of teeth by teeth, so it'll line up right there. I got 2 more to go, so go ahead and loosen this one up. And now that it's loose, I don't have to hold this pry bar right here to keep it from spinning. So I'm gonna do this one, and I got 2 more to go. All right, we got it down. There's the engine, and here's the torque converter. And what I'm gonna do is put a straight edge across here, and then measure to the center and see the distance. That way I know how far the new one has to go in. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull that out. And all right, we got our straight edge across, and we measure with the micrometer the distance. I got like 31.9596, so I'm gonna remember that. And whenever I install a new one, it has to be about the same, or you could damage the pump here behind the torque converter. So now I'm gonna take this off, and we're gonna pull it off and get the new one ready to go in. All right, we got our Remain heavy duty torque converter ready. Here's the old one. I got to empty that one and send it back so I can get a core. This one exceeds the OEM specs, so this would be for more of a heavier duty application. I do a lot of towing with the pounder. So to get it ready, we're gonna go ahead and pour a little fluid in there. We're not too much, just enough to get it wet. All right, guys, we got the new one in, and we're gonna go and do our measurement. And I'm right up on it, and we're at 3195. So you see, that's where we're supposed to be at. So it's safe to go ahead and install it. Even though I didn't put much transmission fluid in there, we still lost some. So you don't have to put much in there. Most of it's gonna come out when you're installing the torque converter. All right, in order to get to those top 2, which you can barely see, you're gonna have to button up the bottom bolts on the transmission. And then once you do that, let the transmission jack down. It's gonna tilt the engine and transmission down towards you, and then you can get your hand in there. Because it's hard to do it, taking it out and putting it in. So when you, same thing, when you're removing the transmission, you want to just disassemble the cross member and let it sag down, and you get your hand in there better. All right, so we got our torque converter. You're going to make 2 passes, 3 bolts, and spin it, get them hand tight, and then you're going to have to spin it again in order to torque them down. So I just spun them by the tooth right here. I just put my little pry bar in there and spun it. So I'm gonna see if I can show you real quick. So unless you got a buddy that can do it from the front with a wrench. So you can see this other one coming up right now, and that one's already up in there. So here's the other one. But like I said, I torqued them all already, so we're good. We're gonna go and put the starter on and start putting my exhaust back on. In order to put the exhaust back on, I'm gonna have to take the cross member back out, which means I'm gonna have to support the transmission again with the jack. All right, we got our starter hooked up, and now we're gonna go ahead and get ready to put our exhaust back up and plug our O2 sensors in. All right, we wrapped it up. Exhaust back on. I gotta put this fender lining back on and bolt the wheels up. If you can see, everything's back in. Tighten up the rear exhaust. Also put the drive shaft back in. So now you can do your own work. You can drop your own transmission. Ladies too. So now you know what to do. Get it done. I'm gonna top it off, let it warm up, and check it again. All right, ladies.